A quick intro about Chrissy Teigen. I have this, by the way, on my phone. I'm not looking at emails. I'm just taking out my notes about her. Like, Arthur, are you checking your email on stage? No, not at all. Chrissy Teigen is a model, a TV host, a prolific blogger turned best-selling author of the book Cravings, Recipes for All the Food You Want to Eat, and founder of the company Cravings. And today we happen to be twinning color-wise. Chrissy, come on out. Woo! Yeah, Chrissy! Hello!
Hi!
Thank you so much for having me.
Sorry. Good morning, everybody.
Okay, where are we gonna
Hi.
start? You're on the couch.
Yes, I am.
You can lay out if you want.
Yes, sounds great. Hi, everybody. This is such a great turnout. I'm so excited.
Of course. Well, everyone here is excited to talk with you.
Yes, I got to walk the floor yesterday. I was very, God, it's so cool. I just love it every single year. I've even come before when we didn't have our own brand here, so I just love it. I love it.
Well, you're why I showed up.
Yeah, thank you.
So let me start with this, okay? You describe Craving, your company, as the place where, quote, my wildest dreams can come true. Your life already looks pretty wild to me.
Yeah.
Does it get wilder?
It is 100% wild, absolutely. I have 4 children. I have 2 2-year-olds that are 5 months apart. I know the math doesn't math there, but I carried one and one was in a surrogate. And then I have a 6-year-old, an 8-year-old, obviously a husband. We have nannies. Our house is very chaotic, very fun. But the one constant in our home, you know, since Luna, who was our first child, is that we always love coming together around the kitchen. The whole center of our universe is the kitchen. The living room, the little family room we have right next to the kitchen is really right next to it. Despite having a pretty big house, everybody is really in this, I will say, 10-foot space in our house all the time. And it brings me such joy.
I love that.
Yeah.
The epicenter
Yes,
where all the energy
it's the heartbeat. It really is. And my kids are so comfortable in the kitchen. I give them knives at a very young age. I watch them closely. But I've always, you know, I was kind of a feral kid. I was always out and about in walking trails. I grew up in Snohomish, Washington. It's about 45 minutes north of Seattle. And I wanted them to have a childhood where they could, you know, be very hands-on and a part of everything. And I think that's why I like cooking so much, is because while we are like kind of indoor cats now, it is our space where they get to like kind of act out and try things and be a little crazy.
I love that. I'm gonna get parenting tips for you. My
Yeah.
child turns 3 this month.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
amazing. Such a fun age too.
Oh my God. Yeah. Talk about feral.
Yeah, I know.
Tell me a bit about this journey through the lens of being a female founder. Is it relevant?
Yeah. Oh my God, you guys. I actually feel kind of silly being up here because I know that I am surrounded by women that really know what they're doing. I think with me, the most challenging part has been that I didn't go to school for this. I don't have a business degree. I just had a passion and a love, and everything I do, I learn by day, and I learn more, obviously, from the mistakes than I do the wins. And so we kind of just have created this world where I surround myself with really incredible women. My team at Cravings is chock full of women that I look up to, I admire, and we all bounce ideas off each other. We all feel so open to learn from each other. I think that's gone well for every aspect of my life. One thing people always tell John and I is that they loved working with us, but they really loved working with our teams. So if there's one thing that I've done really, really correctly in business, it's surrounding myself with really good people that I want to see every day, that I get excited to get text messages from, that cheer everybody on, that are patient with people. They offer people a lot of grace, and I feel like being a woman, that's where we shine, is we're able to kind of really navigate that world where we know that there is so much on our plates all the time, and we genuinely care about how each other are doing outside of the company and inside of the company. But I think a big challenge of mine has just been insecurity in this world because I have no background in it, and we've had men come into the company before, and I look to them as being the brains of the operation, because that's how they kind of act, right? They come in and they act like,
Let me do this math for you.
exactly, and the confidence, and then you're drawn to the confidence, right? Because you're like, oh, they must know what they're doing, and they've done X, Y, Z before, and so I took that and I was like, okay, they really know what they're doing. But then you realize like, oh, they're here because of me though. So there must be something about me that sells this and drives this product too. And that only comes from time and mistakes over and over and over again.
But it's so interesting what you're saying. It's like literally you're reading my mind as you're talking, because something I've noticed in interviewing different leaders, there's almost this kind of like predictable thing that happens, which is that the masculine leadership conversation is, let me tell you what I did right. Are you taking notes? And then the feminine leadership conversation is, I've made so many mistakes. I wish I could learn better, and I'm trying so hard to learn. And so let me just ask you this, you're a badass. Give me an example of something you just got right. You're like, oh yeah, I did that.
Oh my gosh, well, our brand new rebrand, honestly, we are so proud of it. And this came from a world where I was so scared to enter this grocery world. I wanted to look exactly like what was already out, because I was like, well, they've been doing it for 30 years, so there must, like, we can't afford to have these things focus grouped or tested, so why don't we just do what they did? And we didn't want to stand out. And then it went against everything that Craving stands for. We're meant to stand out and be bold and be different and be like unapologetically delicious and decadent. And we were hiding for a little bit. So like, I do feel like this rebrand is like us saying that we have confidence in this space. And it's crazy to say that, like it even makes my bones hurt when I say it. But like, we belong here. And we feel so proud of ourselves that we're willing to be bold, be colorful, be crazy, and stand out. But yeah, that took many years.
Oh, hats off to have the confidence to be contrarian.
Absolutely, yes, yeah, and to still know that these aisles are kind of archaic in a way, right? Like you go through and you're nostalgic because you see these old boxes and things, but also there's room to change too. So encouraging people to have fun in the kitchen has always been my #1 goal, and we weren't really reflecting that in the packaging before, and then now I feel like it's reflective and it all tells the same wonderful story, and I'm so proud of it and so excited about it, and it's just been really great.
Follow-up question. I recently interviewed the director of the Martha Stewart documentary on Netflix, and he had pointed out and shown in her own words in this documentary that when male leaders of magazines and publications said, oh, you're like a home person or a food person, she's like, no, I'm a life person. My business touches all of life. Don't say it's just food. What is your true vision for what you're doing that you're afraid to admit is your true vision?
Oh gosh. My true vision, it's so interesting because I consider myself a very crafty person too. Like I share that I'm like constantly crafting. I love being a mother of 4. Like that to me is like so much of my identity, and I am proud of it and I love it. I will say I don't want to touch on all aspects of people's lives because my brain can't handle that. My brain right now can handle my family, my kids, the things I get to do with them, and I basically use the exact same things that I share online with food and with crafting. I'm doing that because we genuinely have to do that with the kids anyway.
I love it.
Like it's not something that like we're just getting together to do this for the camera. Like if Luna has Girl Scouts, we need to plan this. Like we're going camping. I'm in charge of all the crafts tomorrow. And I just realized it's tomorrow. Oh my God. And yeah, so for me, my focus is so heavily on kid stuff. But I love having our worlds so intertwined with food and children and getting to be in the kitchen together as a family.
You know
I don't need to be Martha. Like, Martha is Martha.
You don't need to be that.
I'm exhausted by the mere thought of it.
Amen. And I want to then reflect back to you how extraordinary it is for a woman to not hide what motherhood is and looks like, and to allow it to be a part of your public identity in a way that's also serious business. I mean, like, I wish that more and more of us could do that, because my sense is that the world and markets will become a better place when we're not hiding that fact of ourselves. You are a genius at social media.
Oh, God.
I follow you.
Yeah.
I have followed
With some hits and misses.
Well, sure. And I guess hits and misses, yes. And like, you can talk about the misses. I will tell you that for this group of mostly women in the audience, can you share a tip or two about how to present yourself on social, how to interact in a space that for so many people feels incredibly artificial and deflating?
Yeah, it's hard. My relationship with social media has, I moved a lot growing up. I lived in Washington, I lived in Idaho Falls, Idaho, I lived in Vancouver, Cerritos, just around the corner here, Oahu, like truly was moving around a lot because of my dad's job. He was an electrician and took on like different big projects in different cities. And so for me, the only connection that I had with people that was stable was the internet and message boards and chat rooms. And so growing up, I genuinely felt like such a connection to these people that was felt very real for me. Remember webcams and stuff? Like everyone's like, of course, like doing FaceTiming with people, but we had like a webcam on top of our camera, and I stayed connected with people all the time, the same people, despite where I was going in the world. So that's why social media has always been so ingrained in me and so a part of my life, is because it reminds me of those times where I might have felt a little lost, or that, I moved my senior year of high school, which if you remember high school, that was a nightmare. It was hell. It was really, really hard. That you felt like that was the end of your world. Like, these people are supposed to be my friends forever, and I'm moving the senior year. Oh, it was crazy. But I always felt like, and that's kind of where the blog came from, is because I realized that I could have this little WordPress blog, a food blog, and stay connected with people through there, through the comments section in there. And then I think now it's just evolved into, I really like Cravings as a brand having a face behind it that people know they can go to and talk to. I love so many different brands that are on this floor today. And I don't know who's connected. I don't know who's a part of it. Like, which also comes with the downside, because they know who to contact when they're mad too. Like with Amy's, I'm like, who's Amy? If I were mad about something, I don't know who that is. But it's always interesting to me that we were able to have a presence online despite just being a brand, because like those aren't typically like fun things to follow. And so we really created this wonderful community where people felt like they can ask questions, make mistakes, know that they can give us feedback and we're willing to take it. And they could do the same thing on that Cravings account as they could do to my Chrissy Teigen account. And so I've just always loved and appreciated that world of connection and connectivity where no matter where I am, and no matter where I've moved from, I always felt like I had a home and was stable with these people online. And I know that's like kind of crazy talk still, but when I like pull back from that world of being online, like it takes a lot out of me, because I miss it. I miss it so much. I miss the people on it. Like, I have people that I consider very good friends on there that that when you don't speak to, it's like a death or something. So when it's almost, you can almost like, you can see so much of like how I'm feeling as a person in what's shown online. If I'm pulling back, it means something. It means something if I'm posting a lot. It's just like to me, it's like a very natural part of my world, and has been for so long now. Yeah, it's fascinating and troubling and
I guess troubling and instructive, the both,
Yeah.
right? It's got upsides and downsides.
Yes,
to
it really does.
Your sense of what reality is and where it exists
yes.
is either ahead of or different
Yes,
from.
but I'm
Yeah,
also
yeah.
skewed because you know, people will talk and they'll be like, you know, there's like a lot of haters online and bots and this, that, but since I typically have had many years of like great experiences, I really do see a lot of good all the time. What it's done for me has been incredible. The people I've gotten to meet, the people that come up to me in a Shake Shack to share their story, whether it's fertility or you know, something that they've gone through with, whether it was alcoholism, infertility. I mean, I get every kind of comment thrown at me when I am just out and about at the grocery store or at Shake Shack or something, and there is nothing quite like getting to experience that connection in person with somebody that only came because of that online world.
Final question for you, Chrissy.
Yes, I know I'm very wordy. I'm
no,
sorry. I told her she'd get one question in.
I don't think you're wordy. I feel like you're keeping it tight. But in a very tight way, tell me. Through the various acts that you've had like a really extraordinary journey. What's something you've learned about how power works that you didn't know earlier on in your career?
Oh, goodness. Oh, that is such a good question. I would say that my personal power exists in confidence, and that was something that I gained so much of being surrounded by John, who actually keeps a really incredible group of women around him. He has since the very beginning. His manager is a woman that he went to college with. They were in a cappella together. She's seen him grow. She's seen him be in this world for such a long time. Power doesn't come from stature or the loudness of your voice, is what I've learned a lot too. It comes in the quiet moments, the thoughtful moments. It comes from fucking up, and you would think that power comes from like being perfect and being great and wonderful and doing everything right. And it's even hard to say now that I feel 1,000 times more powerful today than I did 2-3 years ago. When I think of like how much that confidence can grow now, into 2 years from now, it seems like, oh my God, can it get more than this? Can it be better than this? I don't know, I feel really good about right now. But I every time I talk about it, I'm like, power doesn't come from being a loud man, basically, is what I want to say. I think we've all been in a room with somebody that thought that their voice, just by raising it, was a form of being the smartest in the room. And now, I think we all know a little bit better than that.
Thank you so much, Chrissy Teigen.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you so much. Like, what did I bring out here? Thank you.